Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another video and another stream. And yeah, we're working on this guy right here. This is the 1979 Firebird as the planes are taking off in the background. So let's just start. Now that the plane has gone away, we can get into this. So this is episode 2 of working on this little Firebird Trans Am. Of course, the box art that I've got displayed here is not identical to my actual kit. My actual kit does say Trans Am on it. If I can do this and get it the right way, it says Trans Am. So yeah, of course I could not find this actual kit online to display on my little picture, but it is what it is. And now ambulances are going by. So as you can tell, I've got a bunch of black parts now, because what did I do? Well, I sprayed everything down with the black Mr. Surfacer primer. And yeah, so unfortunately I can't show you all the detail until it's all painted the proper colors. The camera just doesn't pick it up, and that's just the way it is. So anyway, last time we got our engine kind of assembled here, and that's how it's sitting, all nice pretty light blue, just like Pontiac always does, or did when it was in existence. Yeah, we got our nice little blue engine, engine and tranny is nicely painted. I do have some wire here. I am still contemplating whether I'm actually going to do the spark plug wires. I think I am going to do it, even though they are going to be a good 90% hidden, with the fact that the distributor is on the back of the engine, and so the wires just kind of tuck down on the back and go down around, and then you've got the big shaker air cleaner. Let me just take this piece right off the sprue here so you can see and get an idea. This guy goes right on top of the engine. Let me change the camera and I'll show you. So this guy, he goes right on top of the engine, and he kind of goes in this kind of angle. There is a certain little sweet spot that he's going to push down on, just like that. Okay, so that's going to sit like this, which pretty much covers, as you can see, the distributor's just kind of sticking out the back. But at the same time, this is going to be sitting in the engine like way back here, right? So it's not, yeah, you know, as much as I'm thinking, it's going to be hidden, you're not going to see it, the other part of me is like, I should do it. So yeah, I'm going to do it. I will put the wires on there. So to do that, I am going to have to find the particular sprue with the headers, which I had in my hand a minute ago. There's our exhaust manifolds right there. Again, kind of hard to see unless I've got the white background behind it. These guys here. So these will determine exactly where I need to do the holes for the spark plug wires to go in. So going ding 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 along there. So yeah, that'll be, I'll get to that later when it's more time to get the engine onto the chassis. So a lot of what I need to do next is kind of prep work. A little bit of painting, detail painting here and there, and all kinds of stuff. So one thing I did notice with our interior bucket, as you can see, if I change the camera here, we've got nice little ejector pin marks in the carpet of this, which I've taken my file in there and filed it down to make them a little bit prettier. That's basically the most work I've had to do so far on this kit, was to file those down. Now of course the floor pan of this is textured like carpet, so it's not super smooth, so I just took down the harsh edge of those ejector pin marks and just kind of leveled it off a bit. I still want to, I can hit it with another coat of primer on there, which I'm going to do right now actually, and just to see how well I covered that up. Right, if I need to do a little more work in there, let's okay. Another thing I did notice, after I painted the interior of the body with the primer, we got this black, I noticed we have some detail. I don't know if the camera's going to pick up on it for you. I'll try and show you here. Bear with me a moment while I figure this out here. Go like that, go like this, and we'll go like that, and try and get this thing to focus a little bit closer. There we go, that's a good, if it'll focus. You can see those lines going through, right through across. Those are, I think they're supposed to be sewing marks for the headliner, and of course you can see the little outlines of our visors here and here, and the tiny little spot where your rear view mirror is supposed to go. Right, like a little piece of lint hanging off of that. But of course, they've cut the detail of the headliner, these things going right through the T-roof. This is supposed to be glass. So why did they do that? I do not know. So I'm going to smooth those out. I'm going to smooth those out so that we don't have to worry about that anymore. Now my camera doesn't want to focus again. Come on. Let's go back. Thank you very much. There we go. Yeah, so now I can just take my file and kind of go across like this and file those lines down a little bit and get rid of those, smooth those out so this looks a little more like it's supposed to. So you can hear that as I'm just going across those. They're almost like rivets. It doesn't take a lot to smooth them out. It's little things like this that it's one of those things that, you know, I'm probably never going to see. But knowing that they're there and that I cleaned it up and made it look a little better, I feel better about it. You know, it's just one of those things. So, and it's the same thing for the window, the glass. So now I've got 6 nice little scratch lines in there. Again, just another coat on the primer and that should fix that up. No problem. Got another little blemish here that should be taken care of. There we go. It's nice and smooth like it would be if it were glass. That's better. So I'll just hit that again with a little coat of primer so I can see, is there any scratches I've created? Do I need to sand it out, smooth it out? Sometimes you need to do that. You see, they are still a little bit there, but I'm not going to notice them now. And I'm happy about that. So going back to our interior bucket. Yeah, I got some scratches and blemishes down on there, but I'm not really going to see it. So I'm okay with those. It looks better. You don't have these definitive freaking circles in the carpet. It just looks stupid, right? So anyway, to the glass, of course we have these 2 bars that go all the way through. I am going to trim these off here. As you can see, I've done some, I just took some Sharpie and drew on the inside so I know where the border is. I'm going to leave this little bit so we've got somewhere to glue, and leave this nice big panel here so it can glue down right on the inside. I have decided I'm going to tint the rear window on this car. And how do I do that? I'm not going to use actual tint. I'm going to use Tamiya's X19 smoke. And of course, it's tint. It goes on kind of clear. It's almost like a, what could you say, a clear black kind of thing. The thicker you put it on it, the darker it gets. What I used to do when I was younger, I'd just take flat black and just paint the back window. But I don't want to go that far. I don't want to just paint it flat black on the inside. I don't want to paint it black. I want it so you can actually see through, to give that illusion of, hey, this car has window tint on it. I'm not going to tint the windshield, obviously, because, well, who does that, right? Anyway, so that's that. The interior colors on this thing, I'm not leaving flat black. I am going to go with a combination of white and blue. Because the body's going to be blue, I think the blue interior, of course, was an option on the Firebirds back in '79. You could get a blue interior if you had the blue car, and maybe available in other colors also, but you could get blue. I've seen online, if you had like cloth seats, you basically had a blue and blue, everything was blue in the interior. But I also seen online some guys with, I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's like a restoration or whatever, and they've got leather seats, and the leather seats are white, door panels are white, the headliner's white, but of course the dash and the center console and the carpet was blue. I kind of like that combination, and so that's what I'm going to go with. Now, of course, the color that I'm using for the body is going to be a different shade of blue than what the interior would be, realistically. So I'm going to go with Tamiya's XF18. This is medium blue. The lid does not really represent the exact color. It is kind of like a grayish blue, so I am going to add a little bit of Tamiya's X4 regular blue, just to give it a little more blue and a little less gray. Because that's kind of what the interiors were like. But I do want to paint the white first, obviously, because that's going to be the hardest part to actually do. So I need to do the doors, panels white, and the seats, and that's it. And of course the roof, the inside of the roof, I will have to mask off. I want to mask off the actual T-tops, because those should be black. That would represent it properly. And so, what white am I going to use? I'm going to use Insignia white for that, because, you know, the interior is not white. That's just, you know, it's not a Tesla. They don't have pure white interiors. So LP35 is what I'm going to be using. That's their Insignia white. So that's what I'm going to use for the white. And in fact, I think now is as good a time as ever to actually fire up my air compressor and get that first coat of white on there. So while we're talking about it, so get this shaken up nicely. That should be pretty good. So that's going to be our first thing. I'm going to need my seats, obviously. Dink and doink. And I'll need a couple of clips so that I can turn this around. I like holding them back at the back of the seat like this, so that, because when the seat's in there, you don't really notice it. And, you know, for the second coat, then I just move where the clip was, and then that gets covered up. Okay, so air compressor has finished loading up. Do you guys want to see? You want to watch me airbrush this thing? I'm going to take that as a yes, so I'll turn that camera on and I'll get that ready. Let's get this ready for you. Wasn't really planning on doing any painting right now with the airbrush, so that's so I gotta set this up here. And that should be pretty close to what we need. Right about there. Sure, okay. So let's put this over here, this over here, and I'm gonna need that and this. So I'll put the first coat on, and then I'll start doing some other things, like I'll get the rad shroud put on there with the battery on the front. And that's what we'll do. This does seem to be a little bit thick. I probably should thin it. It's probably going to come out splattering everywhere. So I will do a little test spray first. Well, looks like it's going to be okay. So I'll change the camera so you can see what I'm doing, and here we go. Hello everyone. We're over here now. So I'm just going to focus on the doors and the back seats on this part. A little bit of overspray is going to be fine because I need to mask it off later. Just like that, there's the door. Turn that around, let's do the other side. Do our seats in the back. You can see I get a couple of little splatters here. Important to get all the angles. Okay, I think that's pretty good there. That's a good start anyway. I think you can go a little bit more on it and go heavier. But I don't think it's super necessary. I think I got enough coverage on there. Okay, so we want to do the inside now. Get our first little preliminary coat. go. So that should do it. That ought to do it. So that's those. Now we got the seats. So grab the first one here. Get this one going. Looking pretty good, but you need to match it up to the level that you have on the other seats. See, I've got lots of tip drying on my brush there because the paint is so thick. So I want to eliminate that a little bit by undoing that. And this way we can clean off our tip a little bit. seem to have a hair or something on the seat there. I need to address that. So let me take a look here. It's actually not a hair. It's just a little flaw in the molding, which of course the white color is really showing. So, a little bit of sandpaper. I've got a seat that's got a big flaw in the cushion, but that's okay. Cover that up. I'll just have to add an extra coat or two on that particular seat. While I'm at it, move this over to, I don't know, let's go right there. Let's put this down for a minute. And we'll get out this one. Do the same thing. Let's do a little coat there. I'm almost out of paint, so I need some more. So I'll just fill up my brush again. I am actually almost out of my insignia white. It's almost empty, actually. There we go. It's hidden now. Blend that all in. A little more on the top here. Alright, that seat is done. Okay, just put that down right there. Let's get this guy. Need more on this cushion. Fix our blemish here. I did not totally eliminate that mark, but that's okay. It's pretty insignificant once it's got the shadow of being inside the interior. Probably not going to be able to see it. So I'm going to double check I've got good coverage everywhere here before I really say I'm done. I think that's good, and I think these are good. Yep, we're good. All good to go. So I'll change my camera back here, and we are done. So let that dry for a minute while I clean up my brush. I'm going to add actually a little bit of thinner to my insignia white because it is kind of thick. It's been, you know, I'm at the bottom of the jar basically, and so it's getting a little thick. So let's just add a little bit of thinner, and then it will spray a little better next time. Yeah. Okay, so let's get cleaned up. Not with this one. I have two different containers of lacquer thinner because I like to use one for cleaning and the other is for adding to the paint. So like I just did with the jar, that allows me to use pure thinner. And not accidentally add some kind of a strange pigment to the color. Whereas this is my cleaning. This one's been used in all kinds of different paints and stuff like that. Let me get my garbage can out here. Okay. Oh, hi, Mega Boy. How are you? Nice to see you again. I think you popped up in my last one. I haven't seen you in a little bit. You haven't been quite as active. Maybe you're losing interest in me. Are you losing interest in me? You comment, you almost say hi every time. And then that's all you ever say. Just a lurker. That seems to be common. I got lots of lurkers on my channel. Guys who watch but never say anything. That's alright. You know, yes, I'd like to have an actual conversation with you guys and talk about the stuff that I do. Speaking of stuff that I do, if you like this stuff, like watching this kind of stuff, hit that like button and hit that subscribe. And I always plug this at the end of my videos, but why not say it now while I'm just cleaning up and getting things ready for the next step here. If you have any interest at all, you could always go to my Instagram page where I post still pictures of every build I've ever done. And yeah, if you like that kind of stuff, you check that out. Check out my Instagram. Links down below. You can always check them out on your own if you so like. If not, then don't. Pretty simple, right? All right. Let's just take my needle out here. I kind of want to have that cleaned up a bit better before I pull it through. Lots of gunk on that needle. I've actually got there's actually still some blue in my gun from when I painted the engine. So the needle just pulled it out. So it's a good thing I pulled it out now. Get this sucker cleaned out properly. I'll have to do a proper cleaning on my gun for next time. I won't bore you guys by watching me spend the next 10 minutes cleaning my gun further. So I'll just clean up what needs to be right now, and then we can move on. Okay, so now the airbrush is clean. I did want to show you guys my wheels. As you guys saw in the last video, the backs of the wheels were not chromed. They only had chrome on the front, right? So what I did is I grabbed some of my Molotow liquid chrome and I painted the back of the wheels with it, and they now look like this. They are now chrome, just like the front. So I've got 4 chrome wheels. You can see the other ones here, all looking very shiny. And yeah, the Molotow chrome is really fantastic, especially on spots like this where it's not going to get touched and it's just hidden, and it's going to look like chrome forever. Molotow chrome obviously is kind of fragile, so if you have it on a part that is going to be handled a lot, that you're going to be having to touch it, it does dullien it up very dramatically and very quickly. It is fragile in that aspect. So yeah, if you want to put it on some other part, you do have to put a clear on it. There's all kinds of different clears out there that basically attack Molotow chrome, and so you really got to be selective. I do have a couple of videos I posted on my YouTube channel where I was testing the Molotow chrome in the airbrush and seeing what different clear coats would actually work on it without dulling it out. Hey Duster, hello. So Yeah, check out those videos if you want to know which clear coat you can actually put over the Molotow liquid chrome that will give it a nice good hard finish that doesn't actually turn it silver and keeps it chrome. Check out my video there. There's only a couple of products out there that allows you to do that. So yeah. So anyway, let's start actually putting a couple of things together here. So we're going to work on the front bulkhead. I have the battery already right here, and I need this guy here. So let me change the camera, and we'll get into this a little bit. So we'll do a little bit of building. I haven't got a lot of time today, but we can get something done at least other than painting. So we need this piece, and we need our shroud. This guy right here. Okay. And these three just simply go together. I need to change it. I've somehow managed to lose count how many models I have in progress. Oh, really? Yeah, I've never been one that starts a model and then just starts another and another. I always finish them because I would lose track, and I kind of have to finish what I start before I can move on. That's just always been my process. Obviously, I'm going to have to touch up the paint on these pieces, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to start with this side. They have a radiator already mounted on there. There's a cap. So the battery is going to go right here. That, just like so. So I want to a 144 A380, 172 meter, 148 B24. Wow, some are too big, so I lost motivation. Wow. Yeah, if you get the 135 M1117, that's going to be a huge model. I can understand why you lose a bit of motivation on that, especially the B24. Yeah, I usually stick with 148 scale unless it's like a huge plane. Like I got that I did a model of the SR-71 and it's a 1/72nd scale. Okay, so this is supposed to line up right there, but they've got detail which makes the battery crooked, and I don't think the battery is supposed to be crooked. So there we go. That sits better now. Okay. Battery should not sit crooked. So then we have our shroud, and I believe it's going to go like this, just like that. Okay. We got lucky, we got no flashing to deal with, so I'll just clean off some of this primer so we get some good adhesion. And I'll do a little bit on here as well, so we get a good bite. Is that the instrument version of Bruce Springsteen? Yes, it is. I have it playing kind of quiet, otherwise it's, you know, YouTube will see it as, you know, copyright. But yeah, good ear. All right. So those are together. Now, based on the fact that I have to, you know, pin marks, stuff like that, I will hit this with another coat of flat black once that's all dried up. So the next phase would be moving on to our chassis, which I already have painted flat black. That's all ready to go. So I did wind up finding an axle, as you may have noticed here. The kit did not come with a rear axle for some reason. So I found this rod, cut it down to length, and got that ready to go in here. So we're just about ready to put that in. Just a tight squeeze on it, and that'll be enough friction to hold it in place. That's all I'm going to need. And yeah, I just happen to have a piece of rod sitting out of my junk pile, so I just used that. I did contemplate actually lowering that. I've made my life even more difficult by getting a 148 TA 152. Yeah, isn't that funny how we tend to do that? We just keep adding and adding and adding stuff to our piles without finishing it. Just doing a quick check to see if the tire, if I put the tire as far up as it'll go so it's actually touching the wheel well, where does that lay us in the axle hole? And it seems doesn't really do much as far as offsetting it. So what they want us to do, we got number one, put the axle in. Of course, they didn't have any part number for the axle. Why? Because they never included it in the kit. We've got number 127 needs to go back here, and there's nothing marked for whatever that thing is supposed to be. So I might be getting a 148 Bayhawk. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. Let's see, where is 148? 36, 26. No, be like that. Right, that's 127. I need 127. That's what I need. Where did I get 148 from? Oh, I know. We're talking about 148 scale. Threw me off for a second there. I am guessing this little baby so we've got some flashing on there I need to clean off, and that's where it was held on the sprue. So this, I don't know what the heck this thing is supposed to be, but it's supposed to go this little knob down, so I'm going to scrape the chrome off that. So that the glue can actually stick. And they kind of, looks like they want it just going on the rail, either on the rail like that, or right below the rail in there. So because I'm not 100% exactly what this thing is, I'm just going to go with, did you get that kit new? I got this, well, I want to say it was new when I got it, but it was unopened, but this kit was actually manufactured in like 2006. So it is an old kit that's a retool of a kit that was made in like 1980, 82, something like that. So yeah, it's a very old kit, but when I got it on eBay and it hadn't been opened. The box was sealed still. So that was kind of nice. So put that right there. That's kind of where they want it, right in there. Next, we got to put the axle and the tires. that pushed through there. Grab our other tire, just to make it a little bit easier for the axle to actually go through there. Put some glue, but at the same time clean the glue off the edge, because as it mates up against there, I don't want it to go in, but it helps the axle shaft actually slide into that hole, almost like lube. Okay, so after this we have our rear axle assembly and exhaust, but I want to paint the exhaust before putting this in, because it's going to go in just like this, and everything should line up. There we go. The front of our leaf springs don't really want to go in their holes. Very good. We got the rears in, nice. The fronts need a little bit of persuasion. Still doesn't want to go. How come? Why don't you want to go in your hole? Too good for your home? Too good for your home? Come on. There we go. Now, of course, the back. There we go. So that's how it's going to sit. Just like that. But like I said, I want to paint these. I want to paint the exhaust, because that's going to be a nightmare to try and paint in there. That's a tight fit on this side. My B24 pretty much casts a shadow on all my previous kits. Yeah, I guess it would. I'm just going to open up this hole a little bit bigger, just so that it fits that much better. Okay, make sure that still spins. Tire's a little wobbly, but hey, what do you expect for a kit that's like almost 20 years old? I'm not going to be pushing this around like a Hot Wheels car, so it doesn't matter to me. When it's sitting still, that's fine. So, I'm going to paint some exhaust. And I'm going to be I'll use some light gunmetal and paint that up. I know I should be using like steel or something like that, but it's good enough. Sounds like you're close to an airport. Yes, I am. I'm within like maybe a 20-minute walk from the airport, and maybe a 10-minute walk from the runway. I think this will be a dark enough metallic color to simulate steel. And I could even add a bit of a rust effect on the shackles, depending on if I feel like making this car look like it was built in the 80s, or if it's some kind of a restoration. I do have that option. Either way, I heard it. Yep, that was just a passenger plane. It's airplanes taking off while I'm recording is the story of my life, really. It's par for the course. Some guys like it when I'm building my aircraft models and airplanes are taking off in the background. say, oh, it's like you're actually, like the airplane is taking off. You got sound effects. Unintentional, but yeah, it's the way it is. Okay, pipes are almost done. Will you be doing the iconic black Pontiac or the kit scheme? I'm actually going to be doing neither. I'm going to be painting this in electric blue. What do they call it? Candy electric blue. I'll show you the color in a sec here. Let me get my muffler painted up here, and I'll show you the color that I'll be painting this little puppy in. I happen to have the anti-sway bar here right beside the muffler, so I got to be a little careful with my painting. Right there. Okay, so now we've got our little metallic exhaust. Let me just quickly clean my brush. I'll show you. It's kind of hard to show in the bottle the color, but I'll show you the color anyway. Where are we here? It is this one, Alclad Candy Electric Blue. That's the color there. So if I get it in the right light, you can see it, but it's kind of hard to tell, especially through the glass jar. But yeah, that's what I'm going for. Alclad's Candy Electric Blue. I do have a picture of a Firebird that is kind of was kind of my inspiration for this color. Let me see if I can find it here. This might be it. Let's see if I can get this picture up on my thing and show you. Let me close this other picture. Close that. There you go. And this is it. That's kind of the inspiration I had. So that's kind of what I'm going to be going for, is that right there. So yeah, it's that's what I'm going for on that. Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to, here we go. Yeah. Okay, so our exhaust is painted, and we can put that on the chassis now. Let's see, we've got to do that. Oh, we got to put in the drive shaft. So number 3, we're doing that. Putting this in our 4 spots. I want to make sure they're not going to be telling me to. Some kits you got to thread the exhaust pipe in underneath some cross member or something like that. This kit you do not. That kind of makes it a bit easier. Get in your hole. There you go. Get in your hole where you belong. It is kind of neat that the axle hole housing hides the metal rod. I want to make sure these two pieces stay where they're supposed to. Alright. And see, this one wants to pop out. What's wrong with you? Stay in there. Just hold on to that for a sec. Let the glue do its job. Now they want me to paint the drive shaft silver. No, that's not what they want me to paint silver. The drive shaft is supposed to be black, just like the rest of it. But we do have a little transmission cross member that's supposed to go right there. And they want that silver for some reason. I really don't know why. Why would they want that silver? And why are see, our exhausts are sticking way up. I suppose once we got that connected to the engine, it's going to settle these down a bit and put them in more in line where they're supposed to be, but right now they look really terrible. It is what it is. I don't want to put the drive shaft in yet because I got nothing to connect it to. It's kind of ridiculous to put it in there and it's just going to sit. Unless just by having it sit, it's going to be in its proper spot. I'm going to wait till I actually am putting the engine in before I put the drive shaft in. In the meantime, I can put our cross member in, number 37. I remember seeing it, I just got to find it again. And it's not in here. There it is. This little guy right here. Again, why they want it silver is kind of ridiculous to me. It's just a little cross member. So and it goes. Let's see. What's the time for you? Apologize, that's a strange question. It is almost 12:30 for me, which tells me I got about 5 minutes and then I need to leave. So that's got to go just like that, right on there. And I'm going to grab the drive shaft just to make sure I'll be able to slide it in there once that's in. Sometimes there is actually a reason why they want you to do things in a certain order, right? So clean that up. So with that in there, will I be able to slide that drive shaft through? If I go like this, maybe not. I might not be able to do that. Nope. The drive shaft will not go through underneath that. We get stuck. So because I don't want the drive shaft glued in just yet, I'm gonna do that. Almost 10 to, oh wow, where are you located? I'm guessing over in Europe somewhere. Alright, so our drive shaft will just gonna float there for a while, and I'll have to deal with that later. Okay, so I'll just leave it sitting down here. I do kind of want to clean it up, doesn't really matter. Drive shaft can sit right there and just be happy sitting in its little home. In its little cradle. And this guy can sit in his little spot where he belongs and get set up. Okay. So, with that put in there like that, the next is to start putting the front parts together. But I need to do some other things, and I got other stuff I need to do today. And so, further than Europe. Well, further south, okay. Well, Duster, this is where I'm going to have to end it for today, because I have to take off. Not in this airplane that's taking off right now, but I do have to take off. This is where I'm going to have to leave it for now. Let this all set, even though this is all nicely dried and everything. So to do the blue that I'm going to paint in here, I'm going to have to mask these off, get some masking tape in there and mask it nicely so that I don't get overspray on the white. And yeah, I have decided that I'm going to put the wires in for the distributor, do the spark plug wires on the engine. So I'll have to do that again. You're in South Africa. Wow. I don't think I've had anybody watching me from South Africa until now. I've had guys in Ukraine and Russia, and I've got China and South Korea, but I think you're the first South African. So thank you. Thank you for watching. Anyway, like I said, I gotta get going. So this is where I'm gonna end it for today. And yeah, so check out my YouTube channel if you like this kind of stuff. And next Saturday, yes, definitely. I'll be here next Saturday for sure. Yeah, check out my YouTube channel, and you can check out all this other stuff that I do. If you like still pictures of these kind of things, you can see all kinds of past builds I've done. I always take pictures of everything I finish up, and then I upload them to my Instagram. So links are down below, all that good stuff. Yeah. So I want to thank you for watching, and thanks for coming out. Thanks for all the support. And yeah, that's going to be it for now. So I'll see you all in the next one.